Hi, I'm Grandma Judy. I'm 78 years old, and this aquaponics system is actually part of my bucket list. I started it this last winter, and I use it to grow my greens. Spinaches, lettuces, kales, cabbages, that sort of thing. And I do a lot of herbs. Now today I'm just adding herbs to my aquaponics system. I've already put in quite a bit. Some sage and basil, like I'm doing right here. Now the fun thing with this is I buy this in big lots like this at our local restaurant supply store, because chefs want it a lot, because they're cooking in huge quantities. Well, I found out that I can take these and put them into my aquaponic system, and they will supply me with big, huge plants that I can do two things with. Three, actually. I can take the excess and dry it and turn it into lovely seasoning for cooking. I can put it in my aquaponic system here, and some of it will grow up and be huge, huge plants, which I'll enjoy, and others on it, because when you're buying a group lot like that, see, you can see the damage to this leaf. Well, that leaf, we're just going to let that go to the chickens. But I can turn this right here. Now see, this one's looking a little sad too. Maybe, yeah, I think that one will go to the chickens. How about this one? Oh, this one's not looking, no, chickens. Grab this one out. Oh, this one's looking pretty good. Now these big leaves, and you can see that they're already bruised and stuff from the picking and hauling. I just take those bruised leaves right off. And I hope you can see that, the little seed pod right on top. I'm just going to pinch that off, because I don't want it to think that it needs to make seeds to survive. I want it to know that all it needs to do to survive is grow roots. So that's what we're doing with this, is we're causing all of these basil plants I'm putting in here to grow roots, so that I can turn around, and because we're only looking at March now, and in June, when the Saturday market and stuff starts, if I want to, I can turn around here and I can take all of these and put them into pots with dirt, and they'll be big, beautiful plants by then, and I can turn around and I can sell all of those plants at my Saturday market, because they'll be nice, big, full plants, and I'll be able to sell them for $5 to $9 a piece, depending on the plant and what's going on. And since I only paid $9 for this big lot of plants here, I'll be able to make a little profit. Plus, I get to visit with a lot of people, and I love doing that. Let's see here. Damaged leaf, take that off. Seed head, take that off. A couple of these leaves are a little damaged, but not badly. I think they're going to come back. Maybe this one's not so much. And since I have a whole slew of a total of 6 chickens, 1 rooster and 5 hens, which gives me 4 eggs a day, So no complaints there. And I can turn around and turn that $9 investment and get about $300 back. Plus I get to visit with all the people at the Saturday market. It is so much fun. I just love it. And I can encourage them to do the same thing I'm doing right here and putting in an aquaponics system. Now this entire system, including the pump, cost about $130 on Amazon. Now it did not include the lights. I had to buy those separately. But the pump came with it, everything came with it. I had to put it together and it took me a couple of hours, but I was able to do it myself, so I was really proud of myself. And it wasn't terribly difficult. I put it in a big tub underneath here that this is actually sitting inside of, a big tote, and that's full of my goldfish and water, of course, so that I can turn around and I can leave here and leave for 2 weeks. And the worst thing that happens, my plants get a little bit big. Oh well, that's okay by me. But if they were in an outdoor garden, I would have to have somebody coming over and turning on the hose every day and doing the watering and making sure everything was in a good condition, that plants hadn't overcrowded each other, you know, all the things you have to do when you're gardening, which I enjoy doing. But lately I've been doing a little bit of traveling, so I'm not always able to do as much with the garden. And then I fell and I broke my arm, so I'm not even sure this year I'll be able to do an outdoor garden, which has me a little upset. Not horrible or anything. I mean, I'm going to certainly live through it, but I'm not happy with the fact that I might not be able to have an outdoor garden this year. It really depends. In a few days, I go back to the specialist, and they decide whether they're going to tell me whether I have to have surgery or not. And if I have to have surgery, most of my summer is going to be taken up. So I have been protecting this arm very, very closely, because the last thing I want is to have surgery. I know. Oh, my nose itches like crazy. But I'm the one that fell off the porch. Can't blame anybody else. Okay, that one's too bad. I was at my youngest daughter's and I was in a hurry. I wanted my suitcase, and instead of having one of the kids go out and get it, I went charging out to get it myself. Dumb of me. And I fell off of the porch. The porch light had burned out. And I should have turned around, walked back in, and said, the porch light's out. I didn't. So I ended up falling. Went flying out into a bunch of paving rocks set in concrete. One broken arm. But the doctors were really good to me in the hospital, and the surgeon was very kind, and he said if I was careful with this arm and didn't put a lot of pressure on it or anything, I might get away with no surgery, and I'll know that in just a couple more days. But I really need to get the rest of my pok choy out. While I was in the hospital and all this other stuff happened, my pok choy up top here really grew big. See if I can set the camera so you can see that. So all of that is what happens when you leave your vegetables and stuff for a few days without eating anything. They grow bigger. And I eat a lot out of this little system here. I do cabbages, lettuces, pok choy, herbs. And with that, I can cut my grocery bill down. And I'm not getting so many chemicals. Because guess what? Like if you do hydroponics, you have a lot of chemicals. Well, I don't do hydroponics. I do aquaponics, which means the only chemical I have, and we have well water, so I don't have even chlorine, is from the fish. So the fish dirty up the water, the pump picks it up and runs it through my plants. The plants clean the plant root cleans the water, and then it turns around, goes back down again, and starts all over. And that happens on this system about every 20 minutes. It will fill all of the tubes, and they'll drain again and start over again. And it does it every 20 minutes, day and night. I know. Such a simple program. One of those nothing to fuss and muss about, really. This one looks like I might be able to get 2 or 3 out of it. This one's really nice. Look at those lovely big leaves. Always feel bad, but you know, a lot of these big leaves are just going to go into the dehydrator. And I'll add them to my spice jar. Oops, it's got a little seed pod on there. Bye-bye seed pod. If a plant has seeds, instead of growing roots, it's going to want to grow seeds. And if it does that, I hate to say this, but you're not going to have much of a plant. All you're going to have are seeds that you can start again, maybe. Because remember, the plant probably won't get to its full potential in the amount of time I'm looking at. This will stay in here for, well, this is March, and my Saturday market starts on June 1st, and I want big, lovely basil plants that I can put out for June 1st of 2025 at my Saturday market, and help me raise my money for my bucket list. I know. These plants will be sold, or well, some of them will be eaten by me and my family, but most of them will be sold, and they'll help me with my bucket list, because I really want to buy a cute little pony and a cart and a van that I can haul them in, so that I can do my traveling a little bit and have some fun with a pony and a cart. I used to be a horsewoman, but I'll tell you what, at 78, something happens. You break easier. You just can't handle all of the oohs and ahs that you could when you were younger. I mean, a horse is as tall in the back as I am in height. I'm just 5 foot. And you go flying off a horse, you'll be 7-8 feet in the air, and you don't know if you're going to be landing in a pile of horse manure or a fence or on a rock. So, when you get to a certain age, you just don't heal so well. So I had to give up riding. But a cart and a little pony, the pony should be about the size of a German Shepherd in height, a little heavier through the body, but still. So I can transport them in a van. I can have a whole lot of fun. And very little work involved. And I already live in the country. I have 20 acres here. I don't have it. I live with my daughter. But she has 20 acres here. Nice big barn. So we can think about something like that without thinking, what do I have to build? What do I have to do? Now, we would have to do a few things. One of the things I'd have to do is I'm going to have to build a track for the cart so that I can learn to use it properly, which I think would be perfectly fun. And got my eye on this cute little black pony. He's not even hip high to me. He's just adorable. But with his help, I can do 3-4 miles. A couple miles one way, a couple miles back. And enjoy myself out in the state parks. And not so much road riding because, people might run over me. And if I think I wouldn't want to get thrown by a horse, I sure don't want to be hit by a car. So what are you thinking? Everything filling up pretty nice here now? It does make a difference, doesn't it? And all this basil the leftover, a lot of that the leaves will get put on a dryer, and I'll dry those for me. And like I said, the rest will go out to the chicken. So around here, you can pretty well say nothing goes to waste. Let's see what I'm going to get out of this 3-batch. Leaf off, leaf off. I think that leaf can come off too. I don't know if I slipped these or not. I haven't slipped these. Okay. Now these actually came with the Aquaponics kit. And what I do, because they're really set up for starting seeds, and what I'm doing isn't starting seeds this time. What I'm doing right now is it's called cloning. I'm taking branches off of other plants, and I'm turning those branches into whole new plants. So this is a way to get, an inexpensive way to get a large amount of plants set up, especially if you're a Saturday market gardener type thing. This is wonderful. And let's see, that's full. Let's start down here. Because there's only a few things that I can do anymore. Like I said, I'm 78, so I can't go out and decide I'm going to ride a horse or train an animal again or do any of that sort of thing. But my bucket list says a pony with a cart would be wonderful. Going to the state parks, Yellowstone, Yosemite, the Redwoods. Yay, wonderful. And something else I would be really happy to do, and the train system has it, Amtrak's, and that is a sightseeing train to Canada in the middle of the winter. All of the snow and the beautiful, and I don't have to get off the train. I can just enjoy it. That's also on my bucket list. So, if you're thinking that getting old means sitting and doing nothing and being sad, well, it can mean that, but it doesn't have to. I just refuse. My idea of my bucket list and my get up and go, because that's my motto, get up and go. Because you sit down and do nothing, pretty soon that's all your body's going to do is nothing. Not fun at all. But you get up and go, you have fun, you have friends, you make plans. You'd be amazed how long your body will last you. And even more important, how long your mind will last you. Because I don't mind getting old, so long as I get to stay Judy. If I can't stay me, I don't want to keep going. And I know what that's like because my husband passed away from dementia. Now, the person that's passing away really doesn't know too much about what's going on, so they're not too upset. But the people taking care of them, it is really hard, and I don't want to pass that on to my children. I was my husband's sole caregiver for over 10 years. And now I'm happy to say I'm my own sole caregiver, and I'm having a lot of fun. I'm filling my bucket list. I'm meeting wonderful people, doing great things all the time. So what you do has to be decided by you. If you want to have a lot of fun in this life, keep getting up and going. If you want to do nothing at all, well, you won't keep up and going very darn long. But if that's what you want for yourself, I suppose that's what you can have. But for me, it's get up and go and let's have some fun. So join me with my gardening. I do travel deals. Sometimes it's winter, so I've been doing a lot of, I think they're called headshot videos that are fun. Fun for me. I usually do jewelry making, wire wrap and things. But until the cast is gone, I can't do that either. So I'm kind of stuck with what I can do. But I think this was a great project for today. Aquaponics. Got the basil in, the sage in. The pak choi, I think, needs to get taken down and put out in a stir fry. What do you think? I thank you so much, and goodbye from Grandma Judy, right after I find the button.